Okay, good afternoon. So, welcome to General Mathematics. We're going to discuss today the module 8.1, which is entitled Domain and Range of Rational Functions. So, in here, after this module, you're expected to find the domain and range of rational functions. For your subtask, you are expected to define the domain and the range of a functions. And another subtask is to find the domain and the range of the rational functions. So, we are going to discuss first the guide card. As you can see, there is a conversation here between Harry Potter and his professor and his friends. So they are explaining how the example f of x is equal to x minus 2 over x plus 2 uh, is obtained, or the domain of this function was obtained. So as uh, answered by professor, the domain is uh, the domain of this function, di pala si professor, this is one of his friends. I already forgot the name of this character in Harry Potter. So sabi ni Harry Potter, the domain of a function is the set of all values that the variable x can take. Tatagalogin ko. So the domain daw of a function are the set of all values. Ibig sabihin, hindi lang isang value ng x, uh, kundi set of all possible values that the variable x can take. Ibig sabihin, as long as the function will not be um, undefined, it will be included as the domain of the function as long as you can substitute as a value of x. So that will be a domain of the function. Okay, so I repeat, the domain of a function is the set of all values that the variable x can take. Okay? So they are set of all values. Ibig sabihin, marami sila, hindi lang isang value. So unlike the solving equations of rational functions, or solving equations or solving rational equations, isa lang yung mga magiging sagot, or kung ang pinakamarami is dalawa or tatlo. So dito, marami sila. That's why we are going to use a roster method in listing. We cannot list all the possible values of the domain of the function because it may be infinite in number. Ibig sabihin, walang katapusan. So, we are going to use the roster method in listing all the possible values of the domain of a function. Now, sabi ni professor, ni kung alam niyo yung pangalan nito, pwede niyo sabihin sa akin. So, ang kilala ko lang dito is si Harry Potter. So, kung sabi ni professor dito, sabi niya, while the range of a function daw is the set of all values that f of x can take. So, the range, he defined that the range is the set of all values that f of x can take. So, kung doon sa sabi ni Harry Potter, ang domain daw, ito yung mga values na pwedeng i-substitute kay variable x na kung saan makikita dito. Si range naman, ito yung list of all possible values na pwedeng i-substitute kay f of x. I hope you understand that. So, kanina dito sa x, variable x lang sa domain. Ngayon, kay si range, all possible values that the f of x can take. That is the range. Okay? So, this example, they gave this as an example. Sabi ni professor, find its domain and the range. So, yes, Mr. Wesley. Mr. Wesley pala yung ano. Sinong sinatawag niyo Mr. Wesley? Okay. So, professor, the inverse, in order for you to find the range of this function, you have to find the inverse, and that is a preempt. Uh, we're going to preempt the lesson in inverse function of a one-to-one function. Remember that the function has an inverse if and only if it is a one-to-one function. Okay, so dito diniscuss kung paano makuha yung inverse ni f of x is equal to x minus 2 plus x over x plus 2. Okay, so let's discuss this example. So I'm going to show you my Jamboard. So our given is f of x is equal to x minus 2 over x plus 2. Okay, now we are going to find the domain. In order for you to find the domain, you have to set the denominator equal to 0. Okay, so what is the denominator? Nga pala, this is the numerator and this is the denominator. Kung hindi pa kayo familiar, so this is a rational function. Okay, so the denominator is x plus 2 and you set it equal to 0. Okay, this is how we're going to get the domain of this function. Now, in order for us to isolate x, we may add in some other books, yung sa mga precise talaga, we may add -2 to each side, both left. Please, paki-turn off yung microphone because I am wearing tawag dito, I am wearing my headset, masakit sa tenga. Okay, so what you add, okay, so we added -2 here, we also added -2 here, okay, to make it equal or to make it balance. Now, we can cancel +2 and -2. What remains is x. Pero sa madaling salita, yung tinuro sa inyo ng mga teacher nyo is you transpose, but in the other book, transposition is not cited. So this is addition property of equality. So you add a certain integer or the additive inverse of an integer you want to eliminate in the left side and you want to put it in the right side. Okay, so the value of x here is -2, meaning x is equal to -2 if we are going to substitute -2 in the function, the function will become undefined. Okay, why undefined? It's because if the denominator became 0, okay, if it became 0, it will be undefined. Let me give you a proof. Okay, so give me a number, any number. Let's say for example, 9 divided by 0 equals infinity. So we have an infinity here. Undefined means it has a lot of solutions and you cannot count. So that's why it is undefined. Okay? Now, our goal here, bakit natin siya inequate? Bakit natin inequate ang denominator sa 0? It's because we want to find the value of x that can make the function undefined. Bakit? Because it is too many for us to find or to list all of the possible solution, all of the possible values of the domain because they are infinite or they have a lot of uh, possible values that the x can take. Ngayon, instead of listing all of the possible values na maging domain, pwede nating gawin, ilista na lang natin or kunin na lang natin, alamin na lang natin yung value na hindi pwedeng ilagay sa mismong function natin. Okay? And that is -2. Now, for us to have the domain here, we can now list. So, alam na natin kung ano yung pwedeng kung ano yung hindi pwedeng ilagay sa ating denominator. So, the domain here is ganito siya. Lilipat ko yung domain dito para mas malaki yung space natin. Okay, so we're going to use the Rosser method. This is a brace. Okay, this is how it is read. For all values of x, element of R, in algebra, R stands for real numbers, such that x is not equal to -2. Meaning, lahat ng real numbers pwedeng maging element or pwedeng maging domain ni x maliban kay -2. So, ganito siya babasahin. For all values of x, element of R means real numbers, element of real numbers, such that x is not equal to -2. Okay? So, ganyan siya babasahin. So, itong mga simbolong ito, ganyan siya kahaba. Ganyan kahabang basahin yan. Okay? So, that is the domain. Ito yung kanina. Ayun. Ito yung sinabi ni Wesley. Wesley ba yung pangalan nito? Okay, so the domain of f of x is for all values of x, element of R or real number such that x is not equal to -2. Now, let's move on to the range. How are we going to find the range of the function f of x is equal to
Ma'am, pwede pong paulit yung ano, ma'am, yung basa po dun sa X
dito?
is
Okay. So, sa dito, okay. Sige, ulitin ko. Thank you very much. For all values of x, element of real numbers such that x is not equal to -2. Ito yung ano niya, basa niya sa ilalim. Don't worry, I'll be sending this as a PDF format para makita nyo kung ano yung mga na-solve natin ngayong araw na to. Okay, I'll be sending this in a PDF format so that you can have it kahit na kayo na lang dyan sa bahay. Okay, did you get it? Eto, yung nakasulat. Ganito siya babasahin.
yes po, ma'am. Thank you po.
Okay, now, we're ready for our range. So, sulat ko lang dito, si f of x is equal to x minus 2 over x plus 2. Okay, we are going to find the inverse first of this function in order for us to determine the range of this function. So in order for us to determine the range, to get the inverse, um, we have to change f of x is equal to y. So tandaan nyo, f of x is also y. Okay? So papalitan natin siya. And then, i-rewrite lang natin yung nasa left side ng ating equation, ng ating function. So, x minus 2 over x plus 2. Okay. Next, pagpalitin nyo yung x tsaka y. Uulitin ko, pagpapalitin natin si x tsaka y. So, si y magiging x, si x magiging y. Okay? So, y will become x equals x will become y.
Why?
Okay, did you get that? Y minus 2, y plus 2. That is an inverse. Okay? So, next, yung iba, in order for us to solve, you have to isolate y. Okay? Solve for y. Ngayon, yung iba, ang ginagawa nila is cross-multiply na lang. But in the other book, they do not honor cross-multiplication. Pero ang SOP talaga dito is standard operating procedure for us to eliminate the denominator. We are going to multiply y times y plus 2 in both side of the equation so that we can eliminate y plus 2. Pero since shortcut ang gagawin ko, cross multiplication na muna. Okay? So we have here x, ang i-multiply natin siya sa y plus 2. Alam ko, discuss ko yun sa video, dun sa, yung huling video na nai-send ko sa inyo, equals y minus 2. Uulitin natin, x, si x, si x dito, ito yon, si y, times y plus 2, ito yon, at si y minus 2, ito yon. Okay? I hope you get that. Next, you distribute x to y plus 2. So, x times y is xy. plus x times 2 is 2x equals, rewrite y minus 2. Okay? Now, ilipat nyo lahat ng may y dito sa left at yung mga walang y sa right. So, ililipat natin si y dito sa left at yung 2x sa kabila. Okay, so rewrite xy minus y equals negative 2 minus 2x. Okay, i-ano ko dito, if i-continue ko dito. Ngayon, sulat ko lang ha, para ano, let me just copy the last part of the solution. Xy minus y equals negative 2 minus 2x. Okay, factor out y. This is a common monomial factor, a lesson of your grade 7 mathematics. So y times xy divided by y is x minus y divided by y is 1. See, na-eliminate na si y dito sa factor natin. And rewrite negative 2 minus 2x. So, what do we do in order to isolate y? Of course, we divide x minus y, kung sino yung kasama niya, sa both sides of the equation. And then we can cancel x minus 1 and x minus 1. What remains here is y equals negative 2. Okay, pwede natin tong i-factor. We can factor out negative 2 here. Tingnan nyo. This is one term. This is a binomial. This is one term. This is another term. And common factor is negative 2. So we can factor out negative 2. Negative 2 divided by negative 2 is 1. And negative 2x divided by negative 2 is plus or x over x minus 1. This is now the inverse of the function. Some other may write it as the inverse of f of x. So, meron siyang raised to negative 1. Ibig sabihin, inverse of f of x is negative 2 times x times 1 plus x over x minus 1. Okay, now, for the range, ano yung hindi natin pwedeng ilagay sa function na ito? Ano sa tingin nyo? You focus on the last part, on the denominator. Ano kaya ang hindi pwedeng ilagay dito para maging 0? O anong ilalagay natin dito? Ano hindi pwedeng ilagay sa x kasi magiging 0 siya. So, gaya ng ginawa natin sa dun sa domain, pwede rin natin siya equate kung di kayo sure. So, x minus 1 equals 0. Napakadali. Transpose sa kabila, x is equal to positive 1. So, meaning, so we're going to write the range for all values of y, element of real numbers, such that y cannot be equal to 1. Wag malilito ha, ma'am, bakit x ito tapos y yon? Kasi nga we are solving in terms of x. Okay? But we are talking about the range. That's why the conclusion is y. So this one, it stands for y. Kung natatandaan nyo, pinagpalit natin yung y at x. Okay? Any question? Okay, so that explains the okay, that explains this part. Ito. Now, and this activity card, ang alam ko ay pinagawa ko ay activity card. Ang isa-solve natin for additional example is the assessment. So, we are going to find the domain and range of the following. So, ang sasagutin nyo lang dito sa module 8.1 ay activity card. Okay, ulitin ko, ang sasagutin lang ay activity card, letter A and letter B. So, sa letter A, give the domain of the function, of the rational functions. Bibigay nyo lang yung domain. Sa letter B, you're just going to give the range of the rational function. Isa-solve nyo syempre pati yung inverse. Okay? So, activity card lang, hindi kasama yung assessment. Kasi isa-solve natin ngayon si assessment. Now, in finding the domain, tingnan nyo dito, mali yung instruction. Determine the domain and range of a rational function. Pero kung titingnan mo yung sagot, ang sagot lang dito sa is, eto, domain lang to. So, wala siyang range. Okay? And also, yung ibang function kasi, mahirap siyang isolve or mahirap mong makuha yung range kasi hindi siya one-to-one. Like this one. Tingnan niyo number 2. R of x is equal to x squared minus 4x minus 5 over x squared plus 2x minus 8. Hindi yan one-to-one function. Okay. So, let's move on to the assessment card. Additional examples sa mga to ha. We're going to answer the assessment card for additional example kasi isa lang yung example nila dito. So, let's have number 1. We're going to solve for the domain only. Okay? So, letter A assessment, give the domain. Give the domain of the following functions. Okay, so let's have number 1. So, g of x is equal to x over x times x minus 3. So, this is our given. Okay, so in order for us to find the domain, we have to equate the denominator with 0. Ito yung naka-red. So, x times x minus 3 is equal to 0. Okay, ganito yung ginagawa pagka nagsisolve ng quadratic equation or if you want to solve for the solution of the quadratic equation. Since they are both they are product, ibig sabihin, they are factors. What I mean, they are factors kasi wala namang plus and minus between them. You can equate both factors to 0. So, we can equate x is equal to 0 and x minus 3 is equal to 0. And then we solve for x in here. So, x is equal to positive 3. Now, there are two values. Ibig sabihin, 0, both 0 and 3 cannot be substituted in x in this function because it will become undefined. Therefore, for our domain, we can conclude that, dito na lang pala, domain, we can conclude that for all values of x, element of real numbers, such that x, o dalawa ha, is not equal to, the first one is 0, and the second one is x cannot be equal to positive 3. End of the set notation. Okay, so that is the domain. Next, number 2. If you have questions, you are free to ask. Assessment itong ginagawa natin, wag papalito. Next, number 2. Okay, so ito medyo marami to. R of x is equal to x squared minus 4x. Mag-screenshot nga pala kayo para proof ng attendance ninyo. Mag-screenshot kayo ng part ng discussion natin. So, x over x squared plus 2x minus 8. Okay? So, how are we going to find the domain? Simply, equate the denominator with 0. So we will equate x squared plus 2x minus 8 equals 0. Okay, this is a quadratic equation wherein we have to factor a trinomial. It is not a perfect square trinomial. It is a trinomial, but it is factorable. So the square root of x squared is x. The factors of negative 8, sorry, negative 8, when you add it or when you combine it, you will obtain positive 2. Ulitin ko, ano yung mga factors ni negative 8? Pagka inad mo or kinumbine mo, makukuha mo positive 2. Ano yung mga factors niya? So, let's list down here. So, negative 8, grade 8 mathematics to. So, we have here positive 4 and negative 2. Diba? Negative 4 and positive 2. So, hindi ko na isasali yung yung 1 tsaka 8 kasi tingnan nyo, positive 8, negative 1. Pagka inad mo yan, negative 7. Diba? So, let's add. Tandaan nyo, pagka hindi pareho ng sign, subtract. Pagka sinasabi na add the following integers. Hindi sila pareho ng sign, subtract nyo and then take the sign of the bigger number or larger integer. So 4 plus negative 2 is positive 2. Negative 4 plus 2 is negative 2. This is this one. 8 plus negative 1 is positive 7. So ano hanap natin? Positive 2, di ba? So we will take this one. Ito yun, no? Positive 2. And our factor is x plus 4 and x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, we can equate both factors. X plus 4 equals 0 and x minus 2 equals 0. So we transpose 4, it will become negative. And transpose negative 2, it will become positive. So dalawang factors, meaning, okay, for our domain here, for our conclusion, for all values of x, element of real numbers, such that x cannot be equal to negative 4 and x cannot also be equal to positive 2. Okay, so that is the domain of number 2. Any question? Okay,
Ma'am, wait lang po. Screenshot ko lang po.
okay. Don't worry, I'll be sending this as a PDF in your GC. So you can open this in a PDF format.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Isa-send ko sa GC natin to na naka-PDF format. What you see is what you get. I promise. Okay? So next number, we have number 3. We have m of x is equal to 4x minus 1. Okay, na ang hirap magsulat kasi mouse yung gamit. Pero kinakaya naman. Pagpasensyahan nyo lang yung sulat kasi ang hirap talaga makontrol. Wala akong stylus. So x cubed plus 2x squared minus 8x. Okay, so this is our function. So let's find the domain. In order for us to find, let's equate the denominator, which is x cubed plus 2x squared minus 8x to 0. Okay, so this is a polynomial. It involves 3 terms. and the highest degree is 3. So what we can do here, in order for this polynomial be factorable, we can factor out x, common monomial factor. The common monomial factor is x, so that we can obtain a factor wherein it is also factorable. I hope you get that. If factor out natin si x sa bawat term, as you can see, kung makikita ninyo, we have x cubed here, 2x squared, and 8x. All of the terms have a factor, or have a common monomial factor, which is x. So we will factor out x. Ilalabas natin si x. X cubed divided by x, we will have x squared, plus 2x squared divided by x is 2x. Next, 8x divided by x is negative 8, equals 0. Eh di meron na tayong dalawang factor. Next, factor natin 'to, yung ano, yung trinomial. Okay, factors ni x squared. X, may pumasok ba? Wala naman. Okay, x and x. Next, factors ni negative 8, pagka in-add mo is positive 2. Yung kanina, kamukha nung kanina, we have positive 4 and negative 2. Okay, now we have 3 factors. So we will equate these 3 factors to 0. So we will equate x to 0. Next, x plus 4 to 0. And x minus 2 to 0. So solve, x is equal to negative 2. And negative 4. Bakit 2? Tinitingnan ko kasi yung mga sinesend nyo. So this is negative 4. And this is x equal to positive 2. So we have 3 restrictions. We have 3 values of x wherein we cannot substitute in our function because it will become undefined. Okay, so for our domain here, we are now ready to conclude. So for our domain, for all values of x, element of real numbers, such that x is not equal to 0, comma, x is not equal to negative 4, and x is not equal to positive 2. Okay, so that is our domain for the function. M of x is equal to 4x minus 1 over x cubed plus 2x squared minus 8x. Okay, now let's move on with the letter B part of the assessment. So letter B, find or give the range of the following functions. Okay, let's have number 1. So our number 1 is f of x is equal to x plus 5, x plus 5 over x minus 1. Let me check kung tama yung ano ko, given ko. Tama. Okay, so in order for us to find the range, let's find the inverse. Okay, so papalitan natin ng y, see f of x, that is the first step. So x plus 5 over x minus 1. And then we interchange y and x. So we have x, or y will become x, and x will become y. Medyo namamalat ako ng ano, kaya, excuse me, over y minus 1. Now we're ready to solve for the y. Okay, cross multiply, we have x here times y minus 1 equals y plus 5.
Ma'am, negative 1 po yun, ma'am.
Saan ba nakakagulat ka naman? Y minus 1. Bakit? Mali ba? Check ko yung ano. O, tama naman.
Hindi pa, ma'am, tinanong ko lang po.
Yes, negative 1 siya. Y minus 1. Saang part?
Diyan po sa baba.
Y minus 1 siya. Okay? Sige, sulat natin na maayos para mas maintindihan. Ayun. So, x times the quantity y minus 1 equals, rewrite y plus 5. Okay? Next, distribute x to the binomial. So, x times y is xy. X times negative 1 is negative x equals, rewrite y plus 5. Okay, tuloy natin dito. Sulat ko ulit to ha. So, xy minus x equals y plus 5. Okay. We will transpose negative x to the other side, and we will also transpose positive y to the other side, to the left side. So, xy, negative, positive si y dito, magiging negative. Next. So, negative si x dito, magiging positive. Inuna ko na siya kasi x siya. So, plus 5. Okay? Kahit magkapareho, ay magkapalit yan, okay lang. So, 5 plus x plus 5, wala namang problema. Kasi parehong positive. Now, let's factor out y in the binomial. So, xy divided by y is x minus y divided by y is 1 equals x plus 5. Okay? Now, let's isolate y by dividing x minus 1 to the both sides of the equation. We can cancel x minus 1 and x minus 1, and what remains in the left side is y, and we have x plus 5 over x minus 1. To determine which or what value of y or x cannot be substitute because this inverse will become undefined, we can equate x minus 1 or the denominator to 0. So, papalitan ko lang si y ng x. The inverse of f of x is equal to x plus 5 over x minus 1. Okay? So, let's equate. Ano yung equate natin? X minus 1. So, x minus 1 equals 0. Lipat sa kabila, x is equal to positive 1. Okay? Meaning, now we're ready for our conclusion for the range. So, for all values of x, y pala, sorry. For all values of y, element of real numbers, pagka-range y yung inilalagay ha, such that y is not equal to positive 1. So that is the answer. That is the range of f of x is equal to x plus 5 over x minus 1. Next. Number 2. Our given is g of x is equal to x minus 5 over x plus 2. G of x is equal to x plus 5 over x minus 2. Last look. X minus 5, x plus 2. Okay, tama. Hindi, mali pala. X plus 2, x minus 5 pala siya. ayan, tama na siya, no? Okay, so let's find the inverse first of this function. So y is equal to x minus 5 over x plus 2. And then pagpalitin natin, si y magiging x at si x magiging y over y plus 2. Okay, let's solve for y. X times y plus 2 equals y minus 5. And then distribute. So xy plus 2x equals y minus 5. Okay, lipat sa kabila si y, lipat sa kabila si 2x. So xy minus y is equal to negative 5 minus 2x. And then factor out y. So we have y, xy divided by y is x, y divided by y is 1 equals negative 5. Just write negative 5 minus 2x. Okay, rewrite ko lang ito para makita ninyo. So y times x minus 1 equals negative 5 minus 2x, and we divide both sides by x minus 1. And we can cancel x minus 1 and x minus 1. What remains is y is equal to negative 5 minus 2x over x minus 1. Okay, so we may equate the denominator to 0 in order for us to find the inverse or the range of this inverse of a function. So, negative 5, susulat ko lang siya over x minus 1. Okay, so let's equate x minus 1 equals 1, equals 0, I mean. So, x is equal to positive 1. Okay, we're now ready for our conclusion. So, for our range, okay, for all values of y, element of real numbers such that y cannot be equal to positive 1. That is the answer. Okay, so do you have any questions regarding this topic? Domain, range, ang isasagutin lang ay activity card. Okay, so 10, hindi 10. 8 na lang. Hindi na lahat. Question? Okay, I hope silence means none po, ma'am. Next, we're ready to move on with Module 8.2. So we're going to discuss intercepts, zeros, and asymptotes of rational functions. So at the end of this module, you're expected to determine zeros or intercepts, zeros, and asymptotes of rational functions. And for your subtask, here are subtasks: reviewing zeros, intercepts of functions, defining vertical and horizontal asymptotes, and identifying asymptotes of rational functions. So let's start with the guide card. So as you can see, there is a familiar given here: x minus f of x is equal to x minus 2 over x plus 2, which was discussed by uh, another professor of Harry Potter here. Okay, so how are we going to discuss, how are we going to get the zero? Okay, so napakadali. So let's have the guide card already. Let's take this example. R of x is equal to x plus 1 times x minus 3 times x plus 4 over x minus 1 times x plus 2. So let me put the title first. Intercepts, zeros, and asymptotes of a rational function. Okay, so this is our next topic, which is Module 8.2. Am I supposed to write Module 8.2? Sige, lagay ko. Module 8.2. Okay, so let's have example. R of x is equal to x plus 1 times x minus 3 times x plus 4 all over x minus 1 times x plus 2. Okay, so let's identify first the vertical asymptote of this um, function. Nga pala, a vertical asymptote, let's define what is a vertical asymptote. Okay. So a vertical asymptote is a vertical line, vertical ibig sabihin patayo, that guides the graph of the function but it is not part of it. Ibig sabihin, it gets closer and closer but it will not intersect. It can never be crossed by the graph because it occurs at x value that is not the domain. Ibig sabihin, pagka nag-cross siya doon, that is very no-no dahil that particular value of x can make the graph undefined. Okay? So that particular um, value is not a part of the domain. So let me give you an image of a vertical asymptote. So the red ones, yung dotted lines, are vertical asymptotes. I hope you can see it clear. Uh, the red curved line are the graphs. Okay? Graphs yan. And the red dotted line are the vertical asymptote. Another here is the another um, scene or another image of a vertical asymptote. So in this part, a vertical asymptote is x is equal to -2, meaning x is equal to -2 is not part of the domain of the function. So, another vertical asymptote is x is equal to +2. So, hindi siya pwede maging +2 then. Siguro ang kanyang denominator dito is x plus 2 times x minus 2. So, magiging 0 yung denominator. Okay, so dito na-preempt siya may horizontal asymptote na. So, the graph get closer and closer to the vertical asymptote and the horizontal asymptotes, but it will not touch or it will not um, pass through that asymptote because it will get that part or that value of x will make the function undefined. Okay? So, yun na yung vertical asymptote. How are we going to get the vertical asymptote? Simple. Just set the denominator equal to 0. So, let's find first the vertical asymptote. Okay, asymptote. So in order for us to find the vertical asymptote, we have to equate the denominator. Okay? Denominator. Yan. Bibilugan ko siya. So x, gaya ng ginawa natin kanina, minus 1, x plus 2 equals 0. So we will equate both factors. X minus 1 equals 0. And x plus 2 equals 0. So, lipat sa kabila, magiging x is equal to 1. And also, x equals -2. Okay, so those are the vertical asymptotes. So we can conclude the vertical asymptotes, the vertical asymptotes of the function are, okay, x is equal to +1 and x is equal to -2. Okay, so that is the vertical asymptote. Next, for our horizontal asymptote, same given pa rin ha. Horizontal, sino tong humabol? Bendy Carlos. Okay? So we have to um, discuss first this condition before we proceed with the determining the horizontal asymptote. Okay. Let n be the degree of the numerator. Okay? And m be the degree of the denominator. Okay. Ma'am, ano po yung degree? The degree is the highest exponent of the polynomial. Okay? So, sabi dito, if n is less than m, therefore, the horizontal asymptote is y is equal to 0. Okay, if n is equal to m, the horizontal asymptote is y is equal to a over b. And if n is greater than m, the horizontal asymptote is y is equal to, oh, there is no horizontal asymptote. Okay, parang negative yung y. Ayan. So, we have to consider first these conditions before we identify the horizontal asymptote of a function. So, in this part, sabi, let n be the degree of the numerator and m be the degree of the denominator. Degree stands for the highest exponent of the polynomial. Now, kapag daw si m ay less than, mas konti si n kay m, yung horizontal asymptote daw ay y is equal to 0. Pagka si n ay equal kay m, ang horizontal asymptote daw ay yung a over b. Ano po yung a over b? Sila yung coefficient nung x na kung saan kasama nung yung x na may highest degree. Okay? Or yung first term. Next, if n is greater than m, mas malaki daw si n kaysa kay m, walang horizontal asymptote. Okay? So let's have example. So, example. Okay, number 1 is m of x is equal to x over 9x squared minus 1. Okay, what is our n? Let's identify the n. Highest or degree of the numerator. Ano yung degree ng numerator natin? 1. Okay? Ano ibig sabihin yung exponent ng ating x? Ano exponent niya? 1. Si m, ano exponent ng ating denominator? 2. Ayun. So, 2. Ano yung condition natin? Saan siya nagko-fall? Si n ay mas konti kay m. Therefore, saan siya dito? Dito siya sa una. N is less than m. So, n is less than m. Therefore, ang ating horizontal asymptote ay y is equal to 0. Okay? Ulitin natin. Si n, ang kanyang degree, ang degree ng numerator ay 1, yun si n. Ang degree ng denominator ay 2, yun si m. Ngayon, ang ano yung condition natin? Si n ay mas konti, less than si n kay m. So, it will fall on the first condition, which is, ang horizontal asymptote natin ay y is equal to 0. Next, another example, m of x equals 7 minus 3x over 2x plus 1. Okay. Ano si n? Hanapin niyo yung x. Ito. Ito yung x. Anong degree niya? 1. So, ang degree ni n ay, ni numerator ay 1. How about si m? Anong degree niya? 1 din. Ibig sabihin yung uh, exponent. Tingnan natin ano nangyari. Si n ay 1, si m ay 1. Therefore, n is equal to m. So, saan siya nag-fall? Dito sa pangalawa. Therefore, ang ating horizontal asymptote is a over b. Sino po si a, sino po si b? Sino yung kasama ni x? Negative 3. How about sino yung kasama ni b? Ni x dito sa denominator? Positive 2. So, ayan yung ating horizontal asymptote. Okay? Yes, Jaiko, are you raising your hand?
Ma'am, paano po naging 1 yung M, das dun po ma'am sa isa, 2 naman po siya.
Okay. Highest exponent, ang m at saka ang n. Si n, highest exponent ni numerator. Ito si numerator, ito si denominator. Sige, bigyan ko kayo ng concrete example. Okay, we have f of x is equal to x plus 1. Another example to ha. Tapos, si f of x, si denominator ay 2x minus 5. Okay. Identify natin muna si n, tsaka si m. Okay? So, ano ang degree ng numerator? Ang numerator po ay yung nasa taas. Ano ang degree? Tingnan nyo si x. Ano yung kanyang exponent? Hindi ba 1? Kasi wala ka nakikita eh. So, automatic, Ang degree ni numerator ay 1. So, siya si n. n is equal to 1. Next, ano naman ang degree ni denominator? Ang degree ni denominator, ang pinaka-highest exponent niya ay 1 din. Therefore, ang ating m ay 1. Ayun, gets mo na.
Opo, ma'am.
Okay. Ngayon, in this part, si n equal siya kay m. Okay, equal siya kay m. Ngayon, kapag equal daw si m kay n, ang kukunin natin is y over b or yung kanyang horizontal asymptote ay y over b. So, horizontal asymptote, ang kanyang horizontal asymptote is y is equal to a over b. Sino naman si a over b? Ito yung coefficient na kasama ni x. Ibig sabihin, ito yung number na kasama ni x. O, si a, siya yung coefficient sa numerator. Wala ka nakikita kasi 1 yan. So, 1 over, sino kasama ni x dito? Si 2. Kaya, ang ating horizontal asymptote ay 1/2. Gets niya?
Opo.
Okay, thank you. Next. So, kung bakit naging 2 naman dito, bakit kanina naging 2? Kasi nga, ang degree ng denominator ay 2. Ayun. Mas maliit si n kesa kay m. So, n is less than m. Kaya, y is equal to 0 ang ating horizontal asymptote. Next. Another example. Sige na nga, dito ko lang ilalagay. m of x is equal to, example pa rin to ha, 4x cubed. O, nakikita nyo yung degree ng n. Over 1 minus x squared. Sige nga, ano si n? What is n?
3 po.
Very good.
3 po.
3. Okay, thank you. Ano naman si m?
2.
Very good. 2, ayun. So, 2. Okay. Sino mas malaki?
Si N po.
Si
N
n. Correct. n is greater than m. Therefore, ang sagot natin dito, there is no. No. Walang horizontal asymptote. Horizontal asymptote. Paki-off muna yung microphone. Okay. So, there is no horizontal asymptote kasi greater than si n kay m. Ito yon sa third condition. Okay? So, ganun i-determine kung ano or kung ano ang magiging horizontal asymptote ng isang function. Okay. Now, let's move on with the zeros. Sagutin muna natin yung zeros. So, let's have another example. So, we have here h of x is equal to, mahaba to, x minus 1, x minus 3, and x plus 2, x minus 2, over x plus 1 times x minus 2 squared. Okay. So, i-determine muna natin si vertical asymptote. Vertical asymptote. So, ang ating vertical asymptote, we will equate the denominator x plus 1 times x minus 2 square to 0. Okay, so x plus 1 equals 0 and x minus 2 square equals 0. So, solve natin. X is equal to negative 1 and x is equal to, paano matatanggal si square? Eh, di extract mo pareho ng square root. Eh, ang square root ni 0 ay 0 pa rin. So, tanggal na. X minus 2 ay 0. And then, lipat sa kabila si 2, magiging x is equal to positive 2. So, ang ibig sabihin, ang vertical asymptote ay x is equal to negative 1 at x is equal to positive 2. Yan yung mga vertical asymptote. Next, let's have the x-intercept. Ito hindi pa ito na-discuss. X-intercept. X-intercept. Okay, pag sinabing intercepts, ito yung mga points, hinahanap natin dito points or coordinates na kung saan tatama yung graph natin or yung function natin sa x and y axis. X or y axis. Okay? So, sa x-intercept, kung saan tatama yung graph natin sa sa x-axis. Si y-intercept naman, kung saan tatama yung graph natin sa y-axis. So, dinidetermine natin yung points. Okay. So, paano natin malalaman yung x-intercept? Kunin natin yung numerator naman dito. Ayan, numerator. Tapos, i-equate mo siya sa 0. So, we have x minus 1 times x minus 3 times x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, so tatlo yan. X minus 1 equals 0. X minus 3 equals 0. At x minus 2 equals 0. Okay, the value of x here is positive 1. And the value of x here is positive 3. The value of x here is positive 2. Ma'am, saan po iyan? Para saan po iyan? Ganito yan. Ibig sabihin, tatama yung graph natin sa 1, 0. Sa point na 1, 0. At sa point na 3, 0. Kasama po ba sa domain yung mga yan? Oo, kasama sila kasi nga dadaanan, di ba? So, dadaanan. Next, kasama rin itong point na to. Nasa x-axis lahat yan. 2, 0. Ibig sabihin, lahat itong tatlong point na to dadaanan ng ating graph. Okay? Next, y-intercept. So, y-intercept, ang ilalagay naman natin, sulat muna natin yung ating given. Okay. Ilalagay natin, instead of x, papalitan natin ng 0. So, lahat ng x, papalitan ng 0. So, y-intercept. So, 0 minus 1, 0 minus 3. And times 0 minus 2. I hope you get that. Next, 0 plus 1, 0 minus 2 squared equals 0 minus 1 is negative 1 times 0 minus 3 is negative 3 times 0 minus 2 is negative 2 over 0 plus 1 is 1 times 0 minus 2 is negative 2 square is negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4 equals Negative 1 times negative 3 is positive 3. Positive 3 times negative 2 is negative 6. Over 1 times 4 is 4. So, lowest term, ang ating h of 0, ang ating y, okay, is negative 3 over 2. Paano po naging 3 over 2 yan, ma'am? So, sulat mo 6 at 4. Si 6 ang numerator, si 4 ang denominator. Pag-divide mo, lowest term, 6 divided by 2. This is inverted division. 4 divided by 2 is 2. Kaya siya naging 3 over 2. Okay. So, ang point dito, ibig sabihin, ito yung dadaanan ng ating graph sa y-axis. So, 0, tsaka negative 3 over 2. Diyan siya dadaan. And that is the y-intercept. Okay? Any question? Okay, next. Let's answer the assessment part. Meron pa tayong ano. Hanggang anong oras tayo? Alas 5, di ba? Meron pa tayong 25 minutes. Okay, ang sasagutin dito ay activity card lang. 1, 2, 3, 4, letter A and letter B. Letter B na 1 to 5 siya. So, we're going to answer the assessment part. So, number 1 is g of x. So, we're going to answer the assessment part. Assessment card. Para mas marami kayong example. Kung malapit kayo dun sa mga kaklase nyo na walang internet, pakishare na lang sa kanila kung ano yung mga napag-aralan. Okay, number 1 is g of x is equal to 2x over 3x plus 2. O kaya chat nyo sila, huwag nyo silang pupuntahan sa bahay, i-chat nyo lang. Okay, let's have the vertical asymptote first. Okay, so how we're going to find the vertical asymptote? Just equate the denominator to 0. So 3x is equal to negative 2. Divide both by 3. Cancel. X is equal to negative 2 over 3. Okay, so this is the vertical asymptote. For our horizontal asymptote, we have n is equal to 1. And also m is equal to 1. So in this condition, n is equal to m. Therefore, y is equal to a over b. A is 2 and b is 3. Therefore, this is our horizontal asymptote, 2/3. Next, let's determine for the x-intercept. So the x-intercept, we're going to equate the numerator by 0. So 2x is equal to 0. Divide both by 2. X is equal to 0. Hindi yan undefined ha. 0 divided by 2 is 0. Pero kung 2 divided by 2 divided by 0 siya, doon pala magiging undefined. So our point is, our x-intercept is at the origin, 0, 0. Ibig sabihin, 0 ang in-input mo, 0 ang output niya. So it will pass through the origin. Next, For the y-intercept, we are going to sorry yung pusa ko. Nanggugulo. Okay, write the entire function and then palitan si x ng 0. So, g of 0 is equal to 2 times 0 over 3 times 0 plus 2. So, we have 0 over 2 here equals 0. And so, that really proves that it will pass through the point 0, 0 or origin. Okay, so that is our answer in our assessment number 1. Next, our assessment number 2 here. The given is r of x is equal to 2 minus x over x plus 3. Okay, so sa vertical asymptote natin, VA na lang, no? Para hindi masyadong ano. X plus 3 equals 0. So, x is equal to negative 3. So, that is our vertical asymptote. Next, for our horizontal asymptote, HA na lang. Nakihan ko na lang. Ayan. N is 1. M is also 1. So, n is equal to m. Therefore, y is equal to a over b. A is negative 1 and b is positive 1. Therefore, y is equal to negative 1. Next, for our y-intercept or x-intercept, x-intercept. Okay, equate the numerator by 0. 2 minus x equals 0. Pwedeng si x na ilagay mo dito. 2 is equal to x or x is equal to 2. And the point is 2, 0. So, dyan dadaan si graph. Next, for our y-intercept, so papalitan lahat ng x to 0 equals 2 minus 0 over 0 plus 3 equals 2 over 3. And the point is 0, 2/3. So, dadaan dyan si point natin. Okay? Number 3.
Ma'am, paulit po.
Saan banda? X-intercept, y-intercept.
Okay na po, ma'am. Kinopya ko lang.
Okay. So, number 3, m of x is equal to x over 2x minus 3 times x minus 1. Okay, for our vertical asymptote, okay, set 2x minus 3 or the denominator x minus 1 equal to 0. So, pareho sila. Ibig sabihin, dalawa ang ating vertical asymptote. So, 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. and also x minus 1 is equal to 0. So solve for x. 2x is equal to positive 3, and then divide both by 2. X is equal to 3 over 2. That is one of our vertical asymptote. Another, x is equal to, lipat sa kabila si 1, magiging positive. So, x is equal to 1. So, dalawa ang ating vertical asymptote. For our horizontal asymptote, n is 1 and m is 2. And bakit 2 po, ma'am? 1 po yung ano. Pagka minultiply mo yan, magiging 2. 2x times x is 2x squared. Gets niyo yun? So, n is less than m. Therefore, y is equal to 0. So, yan ang ating horizontal asymptote. Next, for our x-intercept, okay, for our x-intercept, you set the numerator equal to 0. Tapos na. So, x is equal to 0. So, dadaan siya sa origin, 0, 0. Next, for our y-intercept, you set all of the x in the function be 0. So, 0 over 2 times 0 minus 3 times 0 minus 1. Okay. So, there's no sense in like computing this kasi 0 din yung numerator. But if you want, so negative 3 times negative 1 is 3, positive 3. So, 0 pa rin. So, m of 0 is equal to 0. So, dadaan talaga siya sa origin. Okay? Baka nalilito kayo, bakit saan po nanggaling yung 0, 0? 0, ito yung nilagay mo sa x. Tapos ito, 0, ito yung nakuha mo. Ibahin natin kulay. Si 0 dito, yun yung nakuha mo. Okay? Hindi yan emoji ha, mukha lang emoji. O, next, number 4. Malapit na. Malapit na tayo matapos. N of x is equal to x plus 2 over x minus 3. Okay, so our VA, yes, is Emilito.
Pakiulit po, ma'am.
Ang alin? Ito? Pakiulit, i-discuss o i-screenshot niya lang? Okay na ba? Don't worry, I'll be sending this in a PDF format, okay? So number 4, our vertical asymptote here. Okay, so we set the denominator x minus 3 equal to 0. So x is equal to positive 3. That is our vertical asymptote. And for our horizontal asymptote, so our n is 1 and our m is also 1. Therefore, n is equal to m.
AB.
So y is equal to a over b.
X-intercept.
So parehong 1. Therefore, y is equal to 1. Okay? Next, x-intercept. Napakadali lang, di ba?
Opo, ma'am.
Okay. So our x-intercept is you set the numerator x plus 2 equal to 0. So, x, lipat sa kabila, magiging negative 2. And the point is negative 2, 0. Next, for our y-intercept, you make all the x be 0. N of 0 is equal to 0 plus 2 over 0 minus 3 equals 2 over negative 3. And the point is 0, negative 2/3. Okay, that is y-intercept. Next, number 5. P of x, last na to. P of x is equal to x minus
Ma'am, ano po yung y-intercept ng number 4?
0, negative 2 over 3. Okay na? Okay. So, over x squared. So, for our vertical asymptote, we have
x2,
x squared is equal to 0. Extracting the square root of both sides, we have x is equal to 0. Okay, so that is our vertical asymptote. Next, for our horizontal asymptote,
2, 2 and 1, 1 and 2,
okay, I can hear some answers. N is equal to 1 and m is equal to 2. Okay, n is less than 2. Therefore, y is equal to 0. Okay? As stated here in our, ayan, is if n is equal, d ang nilagay nila dito, numerator and denominator. Pero dun sa book kasi na ginagamit ko is m. Okay? So, next, y is equal to 0 ang ating horizontal asymptote. Next, we have x-intercept. So, for our x-intercept, you set the numerator equal to 0. So, x minus 1 is equal to 0. Lipat sa kabila si negative 1, it will become positive 1. So, the point is 1, 0. And for our y-intercept, papalitan lahat ng x to 0 equals 0 minus 1 over 0 squared. Okay. So, kung makikita ninyo, 0. Tingnan nyo, ang denominator. So, negative 1 over 0. Ibig sabihin, undefined. There is no y-intercept. Okay? Kasi nga, negative 1 divided by 0 is undefined. So, hindi dadaan sa walang y-intercept, hindi dadaan sa y-axis. Any question? So, i-rename ko lang ang ating as module module 8.1 and 8.2 discussion or lecture notes. Okay, so yan yung magiging kung ano nakikita nyo dito, ganun din naman isi-send ko sa inyo. On Wednesday, please attend our class because I'll be discussing module 8.3 and 8.4. Ngayong gabi, gawin nyo na yung 8.1 at 8.2. Konti na lang yon. Pakiusap nga pala, please. Kailangan bago nyo ipasa, may pangalan. Okay? Lagyan nyo ng pangalan yung inyong mga,
Opo, ma'am.
yung inyong mga papel. Tsaka module number or week number. Tapos yung title. Para alam ko kasi ang hirap mag-check ng walang pangalan. Sayang yung punto, sayang yung pagod ninyo. Hindi naman namin maalam or malaman kung kanino yon kasi mayroong mga estudyante or kaklase kayo na hindi rin nagpapasa ng module. I hope naintindihan niyo yon. So, ang hirap-hirap ma-determine kung sino, kung kanino yung papel na yon. Okay? So, yun lang. Please, lagyan nyo ng pangalan, module number. So, ganito lalagay natin. So, kunwari, title, maglagay kayo ng separate na page. Huwag yung tipirin yung So, general mathematics, i-type ko na lang. General mathematics. Ito yung
Bawal po,
subject natin.
bawal po dyan, Matt.
Pwede rin naman. GenMath, okay? Tapos, yung pangalan ninyo, kunwari ako to. Elaine Jane, kunwari estudyante ako. Sige na, Juan de la Cruz na lang. Baka malito kayo. Juan de la Cruz. O, yan ang pangalan ko. Kunwari, pangalan ninyo. Okay? Separate page ito ha. Maglagay kayo ng tapos i-stapler ninyo para hindi mawala. Tapos, module 8.1. Huwag niyong isasali yung 8.1 at 8.2. Ibig sabihin, iba yung sa 8.1, iba rin yung sa 8.2. Tapos, week. Melito Cruz, you're raising your hand. Pang ilang week na to? Week
Pwede
5.
po,
Yes. Ano yun?
pwede po din na lang with yung mismong papel, ma'am.
Yung mismong papel. Minsan kasi
Opo.
nahihirapan din akong makita ang liit-liit na mga sulat nyo. Kaya I am asking you to please have a separate sheet on your anong tawag doon? On your output. Gaya nung ginagawa nung kapatid ni Renz. Nandito ba yon? Abelio. Alam ko 11 yung din yun eh. Kapatid ni Renz Abelio. Sino dito? Sino sa
Si
inyo?
Rani po yata, ma'am.
Rani. Ayun. So, napakalaki ng pangalan niya. Alam na alam mo na sa kanya. Sabi ko, very good to. Alam na alam mo na sa kanya yun, hindi mo mawawala. Tapos, stapler nyo. Pabili kayo ng stapler o kaya ipaki-stapler nyo dun sa kapitbahay or sa kuya or ate ninyo. Bili kayo ng stapler. O kaya lagyan nyo ng pangalan lahat ng mga page ng papel na susulatan ninyo. Okay? So, ang hirap-hirap kasi pagka nawawala yung mga papel nyo, yung nasa likod. O may question pa ba? Ay nga pala yung section, 11 UMS. Baka maligaw din yung nyo. Tipin nyo, hawak ko lahat ng mga section sa grade 12 plus yung mga academics. So, marami kayo. Hindi lang kayo yung estudyante ko. Kaya, please, i-label nyo ng maayos yung inyong papel. Yun na ang hinihiling ko sa inyo. Okay? At show your solution. Huwag kayo mangongopya sa answer key. Kasi alam ko kung may mga mali dyan, ang daming mali. Kaya alam ko kung nangopya kayo o hindi. Okay? So, yan yung nilalaman ng inyong cover page. O kaya, bago kayo magsimula, kung nagtitipid talaga kayo ng papel, so dun sa pinakataas, lakihan nyo na lang yung pangalan, pero ganito pa rin yung format. Okay? Are you raising your hands? Jaiko? Rani?
Ma'am, bali po mag-iwan ng isang papel para po sa front page.
Yes. Or kung nagtitipid talaga, dapat lahat ng mga information na ilagay ko dito nasa taas ng papel, nasa pinakauna. So mag-leave kayo ng halos kalahati ng page or yung pinakauna. Lakihan nyo ng konti pati yung pangalan ninyo para hindi ako naduduling. No? Pero kung kaya naman na mag-leave or alat ng isang papel sa isang bawat output. Maglagay kayo. Yes, JR?
White paper po or yellow paper?
Yellow paper. Don't worry, I'll be sending, ngayon siguro hindi na ako masyadong
Thank you po.
magiging busy. Bibigyan ko na kayo ng answer sheet gaya ng ginawa ko sa statistics. Magpo-photocopy na ako ngayong week na 'to. So, yung week 7 tsaka yung week 8 bibigyan ko na kayo ng answer sheet. Sobrang busy ko lang kasi kaya hindi ko kayo napag-print ng answer sheet tsaka medyo kulang na yung budget natin sa ano. So, kaya lang ito nakakita ako ng isa pang ream. Kaya ang saya-saya ko, "Ay meron pa akong isang ream." So, ipagpi-print ko ng mga answer sheet ng mga estudyante ko para hindi sila mahirapan. Okey? May question pa?
Okay po, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, so tingnan ko lang kung sino yung mga ano, kung sino yung mga nadagdag. May mga late kasi, eh. Yung mga late 3 points na lang, Sino yung mga late puwedeng ano, puwedeng pa-comment. Sino si, Kiyogab Estorque. Meron ba ito, Kiyogab. Late ka 'no? Oh, Emelito.
Pwede po,
Sige na nga, 5 na lang. Yes, Emelito?
pwede pong ano, ma'am,
Ano? Kaya mo 'yan, sige.
magsulat sa likod po, ma'am. Nakalimutan ko.
Magsulat sa likod. As much as possible, huwag kayong magsulat sa likod, nakakahilo yun, yung baligtad ng baligtad sa ano. Pasensya na, kung ano, kaya binabawasan ko yung mga activities ninyo kasi alam ko naman magastos sa space yung pagso-solve. Pero as much as possible, kung kaya naman, kung may extra kayo, puwede namang bond paper, i-stapler ninyo. Puwede naman yun, tatanggapin ko siya, bond paper. Kung wala na talaga kayong ano, yellow paper.
Sige po, ma'am. Thank you.
Okay, chine-check ko lang yung mga ano, si Maria Cristina Santos, na-check na. Marian Lungayan, ayun na. Rani Jaico, Raysan Garcia, ayun. Raisa Nuki, Charmaine Pila, and Tricia Debu. Okay, so na-record na. Thank you very much sa inyong oras. Wednesday, 3 o'clock to 5 o'clock tayo. We will discuss module 8.3 and 8.4. Okay? Thank you very much.
Thank you din po, ma'am.
Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you po, ma'am.
Okay.
Thank you, ma'am.
Pwede, pwede na leave. Okay, welcome. Isesend
Thank
ko
you po,
tong
ma'am.
isesend ko tong pinagsusulat ko dito para ano nyo, mabasa nyo. Sige, pwede na kayo mag-leave. Medina. Ay, Medina.